What if I told you? The highest paid athletes and celebrities often end up broke, while people you've never heard of build fortunes that last for generations. Most people believe having a high income means you're wealthy, but they're wrong. In fact, and if you're watching this, chances are you're falling into the same trap right now, and it could cost you decades of freedom. I'm Simon, and this is Smart, Rich, Free, where we break down complex ideas into simple, actionable wisdom. In this first video, I'm going to show you the crucial difference between being rich and being wealthy, a distinction that will completely transform how you think about money. Let that sink in. This one principle is what separates the top 1% from everyone else. Let's talk about what being rich really means. Most people think it's about what shows up in your bank account each month. But is it? The doctor making $300,000 a year, the lawyer billing $500 per hour, the tech executive with the 7-figure salary. They're rich, right? Not exactly. Think about this for a second. How many celebrities and athletes have you seen go broke, despite making millions? Here's what most people miss. Being rich is just about income, a temporary flow of money. It's like water flowing through a pipe. Impressive when it's rushing through. But what happens when the flow stops? The pipe runs dry, every single time. Don't believe me? 78% of NFL players go broke within 2 years of retirement. 60% of NBA players are broke within 5 years of leaving the game. Let that sink in. These athletes made more in 1 year than most people make in a lifetime, and still ended up with nothing. How is this possible? Ask yourself, if you doubled your income tomorrow, what would you do? Be honest. Would you save more or would you upgrade your life? Most people choose the upgrade. A bigger house, a flashier car, fancier clothes, pricier vacations. Money in, money out. This is the trap of lifestyle inflation. Your expenses rise to match your income, sometimes even exceed it. The rich person works incredibly hard to maintain their lifestyle. Are you stuck in this trap right now? They're not accumulating anything lasting, which means they're always dependent on their next paycheck. That's not freedom. That's a high-income trap. Now let's talk about what being wealthy actually means. I discovered this the hard way. Years ago, I was that person chasing the next paycheck, the next raise, the next bonus. On paper, I looked successful, but I was still checking my bank account before making purchases. Still waking up to an alarm clock I hated. Still asking for permission to take vacation days. That's when it hit me. Wealth isn't about how much money flows through your hands. It's about how much stays with you and works for you. Wealth is measured by assets, not income. Assets are things you own that either appreciate in value over time, generate income while you sleep. Do both. Let me show you what this really means. Imagine two people. Person A earns $300,000 per year, but owns little to nothing. They're trapped in the golden handcuffs, working 70-hour weeks, missing their kids' soccer games, taking calls during dinner, waking up in cold sweats about losing their job. Person B earns $80,000 per year, but has accumulated $2 million in income-producing assets. They decide when they work and when they don't. They're at every soccer game. Their phone stays off during dinner. They sleep like a baby knowing their money makes money. Who's wealthier? Person B, by far. Here's why. Person B's assets generate $160,000 per year, completely passive. That's twice their salary, without working a single hour. That means waking up to notification sounds of money landing in your account. It means calculating how much you earned while on vacation, instead of how much vacation costs. It means asking yourself, what do I want to do today? Instead of, what do I have to do today? This is true wealth, ownership. The wealthy don't work for money. Money works for them. I'm not interested in looking rich on Instagram. I'm interested in being wealthy in real life. And you should be too. Let's break this down mathematically. When we talk about rich versus wealthy, we're really talking about two different financial statements: the income statement and the balance sheet. The rich focus on the income statement, the top line. How much money comes in? How much goes out? What's left at the end of the month? The wealthy focus on the balance sheet, the bottom line. Total assets, total liabilities, net worth. This distinction isn't just semantic, it's mathematical. Let me show you. Consider two people again. Mark earns $300,000 per year, but spends $290,000. That leaves just $10,000 to save and invest. Sarah earns $80,000 per year, but only spends $40,000. That leaves $40,000 to save and invest. After just 1 year, Sarah has 4 times more wealth than Mark. After 10 years, assuming they both invest at 7% returns, Mark has about $138,000. Sarah has about $552,000. 4 times the wealth, on just over a quarter of the income. This is the mathematical reality most people miss. The gap only widens over time. Here's another way to think about it. Wealth isn't measured in dollars, it's measured in time. How long could you maintain your lifestyle if your income stopped tomorrow? For the rich, maybe a few months. For the wealthy, potentially forever. Think of it this way. The wealthy don't just own assets, they own their time. Their wealth is like a financial heartbeat that keeps pulsing, even when they stop working. While the rich sprint on a paycheck treadmill, running faster and faster just to stay in place. This is called financial independence. The wealthy measure wealth in decades and generations, not paychecks and bonuses. This is why lottery winners go broke, while the quiet millionaire next door builds lasting wealth. One is rich, the other is wealthy. And mathematically, the difference is enormous. Now let's talk about the mental shift required to move from rich thinking to wealth thinking. This is where most people struggle. Take a moment and think about this. When was the last time you delayed something you wanted to build for the future? How did it feel? Our brains are wired for the short term. We respond to immediate rewards, not distant benefits. This worked well for our ancestors, surviving day to day. But it works against us in building wealth. Look around you. Society reinforces this short-term thinking everywhere. What do you see on social media? What appears in your YouTube ads? Advertisements don't sell investment accounts. They sell luxury car, designer clothes, and exotic vacations. They sell the appearance of wealth, not actual wealth itself. But the wealthy think differently. Ask yourself this. Could you stop working for a full year, starting tomorrow? What would happen to your lifestyle? For most people, the answer is terrifying. The wealthy understand that today's sacrifice creates tomorrow's freedom. This is the psychology of delayed gratification. A famous study at Stanford University tested children with marshmallows. 1 now, or 2 if they waited 15 minutes. The children who could wait went on to have higher SAT scores, better health, and yes, more financial success. Where in your life are you grabbing the first marshmallow? The wealthy understand this principle instinctively. They ask different questions. Instead of how much does it cost, they ask, what's the return on investment? Instead of can I afford the monthly payment, they ask, will this asset appreciate or depreciate? Take a second and think about your last major purchase. Which questions did you ask? This shift in thinking is the true superpower of the wealthy. It's not about deprivation, it's about prioritization. The wealthy don't deny themselves everything. They simply make conscious choices with the long view in mind. And that makes all the difference. So now that you understand the difference, let's talk about what you can do about it. Starting today, 3 simple actions will set you on the path to wealth, not just income. Action step 1. Calculate your actual net worth right now. Add up everything you own, cash and bank accounts, investment accounts, property equity, business equity, valuable assets. Then subtract everything you owe. Mortgage, car loans, student loans, credit card debt, personal loans. The resulting number is your true financial position. If it's negative or small, good. You're at the starting line. And the only way from here is up. Everyone starts somewhere. The wealthy track this number religiously, watching it grow over time. Action step 2. Identify one expense you can redirect to asset building. Look at your monthly spending. Find just one thing you can reduce, even slightly. Maybe it's eating out one less time per week, or negotiating a better rate on an insurance policy, or canceling a subscription you barely use. Take that amount and automatically direct it to buying assets instead. Not to savings, to investments. Assets that appreciate or generate income, or both. This creates a slow shift from spending to owning. Action step 3. Implement the pay yourself first principle. This is the secret weapon of the wealthy. Most people pay everyone else first. The landlord and the bank, the utility companies and the grocery store, the government. Then they save what's left, which is usually nothing. Reverse this completely. The moment income hits your account, automatically move a percentage to investments, before any other spending. Even 10% can transform your financial future. Over time, increase this percentage. The wealthy often save and invest 30%, 40%, or even 50% of their income. This builds your asset column first, before lifestyle expenses. These 3 steps aren't complicated, but they represent a fundamental shift from rich thinking to wealth thinking. Remember, wealthy is better than rich, ownership is better than income, and assets are better than appearances. So now you understand the crucial difference: rich versus wealthy, income versus assets, cash flow versus ownership. Let me sum it up simply. Rich people work for money. Wealthy people have money work for them. Look, I've been on both sides of this equation. I've chased the high income and ended up time poor. I've built the asset base and felt the freedom it brings. Trust me when I say this. The view is much better from the wealthy side. I'm Simon, and this is the first video on Smart, Rich, Free. I'm not here to recycle the same tired advice you've heard elsewhere. I'm not interested in telling you to skip coffee or clip coupons. I'm here to share the contrarian wisdom that actually moves the needle. The stuff that made me say, why didn't anyone tell me this sooner? This channel is about breaking down complex ideas into simple, actionable wisdom. We focus on 3 core areas: SMART, mastering your psychology and overcoming mental barriers, because your mind is the ultimate asset. Rich, understanding money like the top 1% and building wealth on any income, because financial freedom isn't just for the elite. Free, optimizing your time, energy, and relationships, because what's the point of wealth if you're miserable? No fluff, no filler. Just practical insights delivered in a way anyone can understand and apply immediately. If this resonated with you, if you're tired of flashy lifestyle posts with zero substance, hit subscribe and the notification bell. Every week I'll be sharing insights that can transform your life. Join me on this journey to becoming smart, rich, free. Because freedom isn't just money, it's owning your time.